Storytelling is a really important aspect of the hybrid remote work process. I'm Simon. I'm a hybrid remote work futurist. And what I do is I consult with companies who are trying to develop solutions for right now, but also help them determine what that's going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And so storytelling is essential. So once you've decided what it is you want to commit to for your organization, whether it's a version of hybrid that's going to allow autonomy, choice tied to the purpose of the mission in the organization and the individuals, or 100% remote where you actually don't even have an office where you go to on a regular basis. Whatever that intention is, once you've got that defined, you need to look at how you tell the story. And the story really needs to track from what the CEO says to what all the leaders say, what the managers say, what the recruiters say, and what the employees actually understand and what they tell their families, what they tell their neighbors when they run into somebody at the dog park. That story needs to track because it's really going to be how you move forward as an organization. So that's the narration of your decision in your intention. And it's really going to thread through the lives of the employees. That includes you, because even if you're the CEO, you're still an employee. All the executives, HR, learning and development, all the frontline staff. And honestly, the frontline staff are the people who have more contact with all of your customers. So they're the ones who are out there presenting your employer brand in all their day-to-day actions and interactions with your customers, their families. It's a really key area to take a look at because everybody's got an opinion about hybrid remote work right now and how it's actually going to affect the world of work. But also as a consumer, you understand how it's impacting you personally, but you're making decisions of and judgments really on how other companies are interacting as well too. So it's really actually influential to really do it well. And that's what I really like to focus on with the change process, because it is a change process. Many companies really adapted to some version of remote when the pandemic started. So we've been doing it now for 2.5 years. It's not just return to office. It's really just, what does the process look like for now, but also going forward? And how does that actually fuel your business? How does it help your employees thrive? It really identifies you as an employer in a lot of ways. And you don't have to have all the answers right now. So you can have a certain type of narrative that actually includes the fact that this is an experimentation. You're learning as you go, and you're willing to adapt and change as needs, as your understanding grows. You really need to have a compelling reason to have people back in an office. And that story needs to track because people are really well wired for story, and they understand the gaps in your story. They understand what it is you haven't decided. They understand what you are hiding from. And so every all hands meeting that you have, every piece of content that you publish, either internally or externally, that's really fueling that narrative and that story. And you really need to get it right. And that's where it can be a real benefit to hire a consultant who's got that future focus, who's got that understanding of what employees want, who understands how the story really needs to be told. And I can help you with that. So again, I'm Nola Simon, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, nolasimon.com. You can DM me, you can email me. It's nola@nolasimon.com, really super easy. And I have custom packages where I work with organizations, and that can be anywhere from 3 months to a year. But I'm also looking at other training aspects. So high visibility in a hybrid world is a course that I'm developing, but I'm also going to be offering that as a workshop and keynote if you want, because a lot of people are worried that if they stay home, they won't be visible, they won't be promoted. There are ways to counteract that and do that well. And the other area of interest is also asynchronous work and how you can actually use that to your benefit to really advance the work, to change your different ways of working. Eliminate the number of meetings have really crept up over the pandemic as well too. And it's not an ideal way to work for a lot of people. And so how do you actually make that whole process better? And the answer is asynchronous. So I'm developing a course on that, but also offering a workshop and a keynote. And the other thing that I'm looking at is how do we engage community? Because people need support when there's change. So do you have an employee resource group that's solely for hybrid remote and to talk about that employee experience and the best practices and tips and tricks and what's working, what's not working? Do you have the ambassadors and the people who are going to cheer on the change working for you? And even the people who aren't necessarily the biggest fans of the whole process, how can you engage them and talk about what their concerns are? An employee resource group is a really awesome way to do that as well too. So that's another area that I'm developing too. So if any of that's of interest, I'm happy to talk to you about how we could customize all of that for your organization. So reach out, talk soon. Thanks.